When converting metric units, the following facts must be learnt. For our lengths, we must know that 10 millimetres equals 1 centimetre, 100 centimetres equals 1 metre, 1,000 millimetres equals 1 metre, and 1,000 metres equals 1 kilometre. In terms of our weight conversions, we need to know that 1,000 milligrams is equal to 1 gram, 1,000 grams is equal to 1 kilogram, and 1,000 kilogram is equal to 1 metric ton. In terms of capacity and volume, it's useful to know that 100 centilitres is 1 litre, and 1,000 millilitres is also a litre. We can also write a litre in centimetres cubed, and again it would be 1,000 centimetres cubed. Finally, 1,000 litres is equal to 1 metre cubed. Now, a good way to remember how to convert between certain metric units is to use the following. If we want to go from millimetres to centimetres, we would divide by 10. Centimetres to metres, we can divide by 100, and metres to kilometres, we can divide by 1,000. If we want to work in reverse though, to go from kilometres to metres, we would multiply by 1,000. From metres to centimetres, multiply by 100, and from centimetres to millimetres, multiply by 10. So remember, we could go from kilometres to centimetres by following the 2 arrows and multiplying by the appropriate numbers. So now we've seen how to convert between metric units, let's do a couple of examples on the board. And it's only metric units they're really going to ask you to convert between in your exam. So it's important to learn all of those facts that we've just seen on the last 2 slides. The first question up here wants us to convert 14 metres to centimetres. Now, if you look back at what we just had, metres to centimetres, we're required to multiply by 100. So 14 multiplied by 100 tells us that there are 1,400 centimetres in 14 metres. Next one wants us to turn 34 millimetres into centimetres. Now, if I'm going from millimetres to centimetres, remember there are 10 millimetres in each centimetre. So I'm going to divide this time by 10, which tells me that there are 3.4 centimetres in 34 millimetres. It's always important with these to remember whether you're going to something bigger or indeed something smaller when you write your final answer. And that reminds you whether you should be multiplying or dividing. Next one wants us to turn 2,000 millilitres into litres. Now we know that there are 1,000 millilitres in 1 litre. So this is another one where we're going to divide. And it would be 2,000 divided by 1,000. So 2 litres is the same as 2,000 millilitres. Another one, 5.6 kilometres turned into metres. So we know that each kilometre is 1,000 metres. So this is going to be a multiplying question. 5.6 multiplied by 1,000, that's how many metres there are in a kilometre, and it would give me an answer of 5,600 metres. Last example we're going to do is to change 0.032 kilometres to centimetres. So this is now actually not just going from kilometres to metres, but all the way to centimetres. So let's think, if we want to turn kilometres into metres, we have to multiply by 1,000. Now in this case, if we remember what happens with our decimal point when we multiply by 1,000, it's going to leave me with an answer of 32 metres. So far, I've converted it into metres, but now I need to convert that into centimetres. And 32 metres in centimetres, I would have to multiply by 100 to give me a final answer of 3,200 centimetres. So in this question, they actually wanted us to do 2 steps. Firstly, change it into metres and then change it into centimetres.